Games are getting shittier. I can feel it in my ass. And some games that were lost to time will be made anew.
Come along, Samwise. Keep up. Be careful, both of you. The enemy has many spies in his service. Birds, beasts.
Yes, that's right. Battle for Middle-earth was remade, and it was remade in fantastic fashion. All you gotta do is put on a Reshade, which is 9, essential for this game because of its age. But what you have here with Age of the Ring is a fucking amazing package. There's customization on building your character, there's all kinds of modes and shit, and it's supremely just a wicked, wicked, wicked mod to an already pretty good game from what I remember. It's my human duty to tell you about these awesome fucking mods,
Don't
and
let them
this is a
escape.
game that maybe people may have remembered from their childhood, but an incredible team made a fucking crazy ass mod. As is tradition in old games, people tend to make fucking awesome mods for things that once
I
were
see
amazing
an
and still to this
impale
day are.
creature hopping about.
Now, I was talking about modes earlier, and this game has plethora of them. There's the War of the Ring. There's like a kind of like Total War-esque conquering mode that I probably will get into one day, but I found a little complicated and it was nothing comparable to Total War Warhammer type overworld and map stuff, but it's highly appreciated and it is there if you wanted to check that out. Um, you know, it's gonna be similar. If anybody remembers Total War Warhammer 3 has the fucking best Battle of Empires type open world-ish, RTS-ish, empire building, war dominating type mode. But this is something that they put in there and was is pretty good, and I don't even fully remember if it was from the previous game or not. But just tells you how much time has passed between these games that we remember that you coming and be like, did I have that mod or not? I have to like go back and check, and I fucking didn't. So I mean, there's a war open-esque mode to this. Now there is a single player venture in this that plays out the story as much as I got to. I'm not sure how much of it is, and again, I'm not sure if this was in the base game, but it is highly appreciated. Although I will point out that it is seemingly very, 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 very difficult. And in the first little bit that I struggled, I had to save scum my ass way through this fucking thing. In fact, I had to fucking save scum around every corner in this one point when I fought when you get past the ring race. But, geez, it's an interesting thing and it's there, and I probably will play through that one day too, potentially. But it's there if you want to check it out. And yeah, it's really something to see this portrayed in old school graphics, and it's highly nice actually. The graphics are nice and everything in this game is looks good enough. A bit old, but it doesn't really matter because it's simplicity and its greatness and it's just complete exactness of the source material of the Jackson vision is beautiful. It's wonderful to see. It's almost like nostalgic now. Now, as often is the case in these types of old school RTSs, the bulk of your fun is going to be had in the skirmish mode, where you can just take and create battles, and there's a mind-numbing amount of maps in this mod. Like I said, don't really remember the older game, just remember that it was pretty good and never really got to have too much time with it, but I thought it was really great. But now this nostalgia factor is kicked into fucking 11, and when you see all the shit you can do in this custom campaign in this modded version, holy fuck, you get excited. So hats off to the team because yeah, in this skirmish mode, this is a game I'm gonna keep coming back to for many, many, many years. You have your base, you have resources, you have everything that you need in a perfect RTS, and the set pieces are fucking amazing. You can have the Battle of Helm's Deep, you can have the Battle of Helm's Deep versus skeletons, you can have the Battle of Helm's Deep versus Rohan. You can do anything you can set your mind to. And I think there's something to be said by the Jackson's vision of just being able to go back and just say, holy, what a cool world. And it proves to show that basically this would be a good RTS even if it wasn't attached to the Tolkien Lord of the Rings franchise. But because it's perfectly blended with the Jackson's vision, and it's perfectly blended with the fucking amazingness of an older school RTS, it just feels amazing. There's stats and levels and units and armor. It's just all very nice, and it plays beautiful too. The special abilities, everything is very cool. And you can really just do whatever you want in a sandbox in the Lord of the Rings universe, which is pretty much what you wanted to set out to. What the fuck is the point that they haven't come out with good Lord of the Rings games yet? I mean, how the fuck do you fuck this up? It's so bad. And it's like, I mean, you've proven with Gollum and you've proven with other things that, like, if you don't follow the Peter Jackson's look, you're bound to fucking failure. So yeah, I'd encourage you to go and get it right now. It's a little bit of a hefty setup, but once you're there, you have it. Um, And I mean, like, it's proof of concept that there can be awesome Lord of the Rings games exist out there. You know, there's just a few, there's just a sliver. They just given us a little fucking sliver. Now, like I mentioned, this game's gonna need a reshade, and it's spectacular. Now, thankfully, I put the link to my reshade presents down below. So all you gotta do is get reshade, pop this in your folder, and you're fucking set to go. Now, like it's these old games from 2000s to mid 2000s, like mid 2010s, 2015ish. They almost require a reshade, and this game actually it seems to work just brilliant. You can add a little bit of bloom to it. You can make it that dark, gritty look that the Lord of the Rings films had. And that's what my Reshade Presents down below does. Now, as you can tell, this just brings out the ooziness of the Tolkien universe in Jackson's vision. It's just so dark, it's so brooding, and when you get the battles, it just fucking is epic, and it gets you fucking pumped just for Lord of the Rings and shit. And playing as any member of the Fellowship, holy fuck, you just love it. I mean, it's fucking wicked. It comes with a map editor and shit. I cannot recommend this mod enough. Age of the Ring is fucking spectacular, and hats off to the devs who worked on this shit. As for performance, this mod definitely kicks it up a notch in terms of potentially being unoptimized, but I do have a modest rig, and for the most part, it ran fucking perfectly for me. Uh, Obviously, when you take in too much of the scenery, it just fucking chugs along, and we have gigantic battles. But there wasn't really too much. See, the thing is, you can tell that this is an older game. It's not optimized for for newer systems. So they could technically make a game like this today that is like 10 times better. Like, I mean, they have the resources to make a game that's a RTS like this with models, with everything that they could do nowadays in modern gaming, and make this fucking 10 million times better. But what you get is what you get, and this is an older school RTS, and you're gonna feel it.
Fight or die.
Now, yeah, a
Simple.
modern AAA release with a really good RTS of Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings game would be amazing. But sadly, in 2024, we're not going to get that. And we're probably not going to get that for some time. Because maybe the rights are fucked and maybe something else is fucked up. But whatever it is that somebody's fucked up who's stupid enough to make decisions. And that's why we haven't gotten a really sweet Lord of the Rings Jackson Vision in a while. Like, I mean, there's other games there's the Shadow of the Ring games that looked really, really cool, but I've always wanted something that just gives you the whole world, like everything, all the history, all the lore, and leave it to modders to have come up with such a thing. Now, I'm not too caught up on my Lord of the Rings lore, but when it starts having shit in it that I don't recognize and don't know and have to look up on Google, then they've done a really good
I know
job at
where to
doing it.
go.
And there's all kinds of new shit that you learn about the Lord of the Rings
We go.
series by watching this, and that isn't that the point? Isn't that an
We
awesome
go.
point of it?
I'll kill you
Sure, the
all.
blockiness of the
What we're
graphics
doing will
sometimes is a
soon be
little bit
upon us.
off-putting, but it really actually adds to the charm of
The
it all.
fighting has begun!
The only thing that I would note is that the UI is something you have to get used to, and it really brings you back in the day when games UI played more of a part as they are today. And the Lord of the Rings movie, oh man, those Lord of the Rings movies were so great. Even the Hobbits ones. The atmosphere is awesome, the characters are cool, the lore is completely as accurate as can be. The armor is shiny and everything is so nice. And that's fucking what this game has too. And we get some of that original cast, holy shit, Elrond's gonna be fucking shit up. Liv Tyler's gonna be beating up orcs. Fucking Aragorn's gonna be fucking kicking the shit out of a couple fucking Dread Knights. It's all so wonderful, and that proves how timeless these characters are. How could you possibly make an incredible Lord of the Rings game in 2024? That is the question. Gollum failed. All these other fucking games have usually fucked up or are stupid. Right now the license is in limbo. Now the worst thing you could have done is given it to Jeff fucking Bezos to fuck up. Now, this is proof of concept that you can play a good Lord of the Rings game nowadays. You can actually play it. You can play it, and it's easy to play. And it's free, which is the weirdest thing in this world because it seems as if nothing good is free anymore. But you know what? Hats off to these modders who made Age of the Ring because fuck, this game is beautiful, and I hope this gives you something of exposure or something. I mean, take my money and fucking run with it. And it's so easy to say that, like, people see, the thing is that people nowadays game companies are so fucking stupid because they're all run by a
The
bunch of
fighting has
idiots in
begun!
suits who don't even like
I'm
video
here to
games.
protect this
But it
empire.
proves that when people like these
I
total
will come to
conversions
your
that
aid.
make games so wicked, it
We're
proves that when
moving
you
out.
put it in the hands of people who are passionate about the source material, they fucking make something beautiful. And that's what this
We're
Age of
full.
the Ring mod really
We're moving
is.
out.
They've made it truly,
Time has
truly
come.
beautiful. Now I'm not here to suck a donkey's dick all day
We're
long, but
full.
there is some shortcomings to this mod, and it's fair to be aware about
The
of
enemy
it
is
since
upon
I've given
us!
it so much praise so far.
I know
Number
where to
one
go.
is an older game, and you'll feel it. But
We go.
but if you can look past some of its shortcomings, like weird looking textures and kind of
Here
off
we go.
looking basic
I'll kill you
shadows,
all. The
and if
hour of
there's,
doom will
you know,
soon
some
be
way
upon
to
us.
remake this in the Unreal Engine, which I think that they are
The hour of
doing a
doom will
complete
soon be
remake
upon
of
us.
this. Although I would be skeptical if it would include all the content of Age of the Ring. But it is an old game. You'll feel it. There
Is
is
this
pain
all you
to it.
can muster?
And it probably will chudder along on even modern systems. So I mean, it's something that's aged and it's fair comparison. And don't even get me started on the dreadful as fuck single player campaign, which I thought I could lead a source of my favorite fellowship members across Middle Earth to discover all these new things. No, it's a definitely difficult, grueling as fuck single player RTS experience. And you'll do things like all of a sudden in one scene where there was never any elves or massive wars against the orcs, all of a sudden will be incorporated in the story, and suddenly yeah, one of the classic examples is when you start fighting the at Weathertop, when you start fighting the fucking skeletons and monsters, and you're like, wait a second, this didn't happen in the movies. Or when you defend Bree from a giant invasion, and you're just like, pretty sure this didn't happen in the movies. But I guess it's fine. I mean, they have to paddle it out to make it like a single player experience. But it's of note that I quickly lost interest in the single player campaign just because I knew that there was going to be whole new brutal sections added that weren't in the original trilogy. Not to say I won't play it through one day. Yeah, it won't take you long after the part with the ring wraiths to just default to the skirmish mode altogether. It's fucking brutal. Okay, so for example, there's a part in the very beginning where you have to dodge the ring race, and I talked about this earlier, but the fucking the ring race are so hard to dodge, and you're like, how do I even get past this? And you lose, and you gotta start all the way back at the beginning again. So I ended up getting past that by just save scumming my way along, and you're like, this is only the very beginning of this torment. So yeah, I mean, to be fair, the skirmish battles are quite difficult as well, because you the first couple times you usually get your ass handed to you. So I would recommend the thing. But this is a challenging game. It had me on my toes, where a lot of newer games kind of a little bit more gentle. This thrusts you right into the possibilities of defeat in this game. So games come and go. I mean, and if you remember this game, if you remember what it's all about, excellent. There's a sweet new mod for it. But I mean, if you don't remember this and you're going in kind of fresh as I did, you're bound to have just a fucking fantastic experience here. And there's just so much content to be enjoyed that it'll keep you coming back for many years, many years. Now the siege battles do have a thing where they eventually get to a point of you just destroying as many buildings as you can, but the ebb and flow of war is here really nicely in the skirmish mode. And whether or not you enjoy the other modes or even bother with any of them in the first place, the skirmish mode's an awesome one just to jump in. And it almost makes you wish that there was just a pure installer for this on Steam or something for 20 bucks, because it would become way, way, way more known. See, people are creatures of convenience. They want just whatever's easiest and most accessible. So if they had this somewhere a little easier accessible than downloading bullshit here and trying to get a CD thing to work, it might be a little bit more of a well-known, well-institutionalized game at this point if it was just available on Steam or something for free. Age of the Ring plus Reshade, even like a modern graphics like update or something, not just a reshade, because reshade can only do so much, but what it does here is very good. You don't even want to see the base game. It adds all kinds of effects, but you know, the older textures and stuff really don't bother you when you get down to what a core solid experience this is. It's Lord of the Rings in its most purest and fullest form. And as far as I hunt, and as long and hard as I hunt for, it's one of the better of the games out there for Lord of the Rings. Whether or not you like it like more of a third-person action experience. But accessibility is definitely one of the things, because I think that the average gamer would have such a fucking hard time getting this shit to work, because as a seasoned and well-veteraned Gandalf of modding, I definitely had a little pull here. But it's all fucking worth it, because you get the fellowship and you get to fuck around with the Lord of the Rings world, and honestly, there's just so much to do. It's awesome. It's a stellar game to add to your collection and roster. It's fucking, you fucking gotta love it. You gotta love the Lord of the Rings mix. I can't be the only one who loves the fucking Lord of the Rings out there, and all the awesomeness that world exudes. Even though I still love Warhammer too. We come at a tragic time in gaming when even the biggest and most complete budgets and possibilities for gaming is so easily squandered and so easily bullshitized that even with infinite resources and infinite money, they can still fuck it up so terribly. And this proves how just a little group of guys who love the source material can fucking outdo them, because you know what? I play this game a lot, and I've got sunk many hours into that, and that steals from the shitty developers that are making live service and microtransactions bullshit and all this fucking thing. So the more time that we can dedicate to older, more complete video gaming experiences that are fucking awesome, the better. Because ultimately we're giving the big middle finger to the fucking companies that suck and make bullshit. And there's so much like wickedness to explore here that you really get so much value out of this package. It's not even fun. The thing is even if you're not the biggest fan of Lord of the Rings Peter Jackson's vision, which I don't know how the fuck you would be, you can still find enjoyment up here. It's a great RTS. You got knights, you got swords, you got goblins, you got magic. You really, really can't go wrong. Uh, a hero system I like. It's good. Everything about it gameplay wise, I generally agree with. The health bars are a little intrusive, but nothing, and it provides you important battle info. The another thing to keep in note is the cameras on the side give you different views of the camera. I spent the first little bit kind of hating how the top view general view was all the time, but you can change it to unit camera, you can change it to cinematic camera, and you can really get in on the action and kind of get a more cinematic approach. And I only recently figured that out, so that's a important one to note. As for the install, I don't want to get into much detail because most people's computers are it's different and their level of being able to get this to work is various, but you got to go Lord of the Rings, Wrath of the Witch King, there's updates, there's posts. It's pretty easy to figure out really. You can spend an afternoon, although I spent a little bit longer on it than I thought, but once I eventually got it working, I was fucking blown away. Literally blown away. The maps, the set pieces, the units, the colors, the feeling, the general overall ambiance of it is so perfect and it works just beautifully. Even in 2023 here as we are today in the Lord's Earth. But you know what? It's like I said, it's going back to an old school gaming experience that's quickly losing its bearings, and it makes me hope for a future of when they could make this. Because if this was like totally next gen physics and everything, and super high res, super amazing looks and graphics, it would be something special. But what we have here today is something that it's great. It's great. It's fucking good. I would go out and get it right now. And if you love Lord of the Rings, there you go. Just look at Eowyn. Isn't that the perfect figure of a Rohan goddess? It's almost comical the way the units look. Pretty damn good for what they're supposed to portray, but it's certainly not on the levels of true realism. The Lord of the Rings is such a timeless classic, and it actually makes you like fucking feel all warm and fuzzy inside with the Lord of the Rings, you know? It's that ambiance and that's that beautiful, beautiful dark cinematic look that is just so fun to observe. So a game once lost, a game once found, becomes something so much more special when given a little bit of community love and community attention. Little bits of detail here and a little bits of detail there, and everything is just so beautiful. It's something that you want to check out. It's something that you probably should check out, especially if you don't want to spend any money. But the way that it all comes together gives you that Lord of the Rings RTS experience you've always dreamed of, and there's not really anywhere else to get it. So, like the ring betrayed Isildur, as so we were betrayed by the license. We were never given really great games, good little pockets here and there with the terms of like this Age of Lord of the Rings Online, a little bit, a little bit of Shadow of Mordor, but ultimately that first time that you were looking at Lord of the Rings in the theaters and you saw it, you just thought about how many possibilities of amazing games we'll get, and the surface is off the surface, we didn't get a whole lot. We didn't get something. We didn't get anything incredible. We didn't get anything groundbreaking. What we got was pretty standard fare. And to go back and get some modded shit that is really, really good, it feels amazing. It feels truly amazing. You go back and you relive these adventures that you once had in a new, brilliant light. And yeah, whether or not you enjoyed the first games or not, it's something that is there. It's there for you, and it's called Age of the Ring. Equivocally, Age of the Ring, made by some modders. Stunning, stunning experience. Very, very fun. Had a lot of good times with this already, and many good times in the future. Because sometimes you're just like, I want to pop something on. I want to get an old school Lord of the Rings RTS going. Boom, you got it. Just right like this. You got that, and you have it. You have this Lord of the Rings experience that's true to the name, true to the source material, true to life. You got it. It's Lord of the Rings. The way it was meant to be shown. See, and what they did was they fucked up with Gollum. Gollum could have been half decent if they put some effort into it and they made it look like real Gollum. Um, and that game just fucking bombed. I mean, that's hilarious that they even thought that that was a good idea. And maybe they that makes me think. I'm starting to get a little suspicious of modern games because I feel like they make sometimes shit that's fucking terrible to get people's attention to fucking buy it. Now I'll have my Reshade presents kind of below here. And if you're not familiar with Reshade, Reshade's a fantastic program. Like I said, it makes like a little bits of beauty here and there and sprinkles little bits of modern graphics. I particularly like to use the Magic HDR feature, which just really exemplifies the colors and gets away from that old graphic-y type look that older games, like I said, from early 2000s to mid 2015. Newer games you're not going to need a reshade because they're already so beautiful and deep, but it doesn't ever hurt to add a little reshade to something. It doesn't hurt to sometimes just put a little extra into the beauty of it. Sometimes that's what you got to do with older games, especially when you get into modding. There's even crazier like graphics, RTX crazy Unreal Engine, just steps forward in the graphics. But to enjoy older games like this, it's beaut. Well, I hope you liked this video and liked my review. I know I don't get a lot of attention on YouTube, but I'll never stop loving making video games, videos, and never stop loving games, and never stop fucking making fucking crazy shit up for the internet. That's just what I do, and that's what I have a lot of fun doing. And I hope that you were able to find this game and be like, holy shit, this looks cool. Oh, I want to check this out. Let's fucking get it. And you get it, and it's fucking awesome. And you have a good time with your friends, because isn't that what all life it's all about? Having a good time with the people you love. If the Lord of Rings had a good game, it would be Battle for Middle-earth 2 with the Age of Ring mod. Well, there you go. An amazing Lord of the fucking Rings game. We did it!